All right, welcome back. This is going to be part 32 of my presentation on the flood and Noah's Ark. And guys, I think one more video after this one, and we'll be finished up with the looking at different types of fossils and looking at the fossil definitions. And but if you'll notice on the screen here, this is molds and cast, molds and cast. And so this is really one I should have had with the last video. But at any rate, it's commonly in fossil shells. It's mold fossils, and is the dissolving away of the skeleton of a fossil animal preserved in rock, leaving a space where the animal used to be. If the space is filled with minerals, it is called a cast fossil or a replacement fossil. And so, if you'll notice, we went over this slide the last time when I was showing you that giant reed that I had. And that's what happened here. If you'll notice on the far left of this picture here, I got a big red box there. And this is you got a drawing of the plant. In that middle area, that yellow middle area, they call that the pith cavity. The pith cavity, P-I-T-H cavity. And now if you'll notice, it says fossil pith cast. Fossil pith cast. Now, what happened is that plant was broken, and during a quote-unquote flood that they even describe on this picture here, it had infilled with material, and that material had hardened up, and it made a cast of the inside. And so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the cast. And so now, going on here, tracks and trails that have been fossilized, they call this trace fossils. Trace fossils. It's basically the activities of organisms. Animal tracks left in soft sediment, mud, their feet, tails, and other body parts leave impressions that may harden and become preserved. When an impression is filled with a different sediment, the impression forms a mold, and the sediment that fills the mold forms a cast. Other types of trace fossils include burrows and other dwelling structures. Coprolites, which is fossilized feces or dinosaur doo-doo, you'll often hear it referred to as, eggs and eggshells, nest and roots. These are all trace fossils, is what they consider. Now, believe it or not, they have actually had fossil insect footprints, and also raindrops. They've had raindrops be fossilized. Absolutely just incredible. But you need another sediment to lay over this stuff, and it will actually preserve it. It will actually preserve it, given the right conditions. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some examples of trace fossils. And so here's some here. You got guinea fowl tracks. You'll notice that circle there. Guinea fowl tracks. There they are right there. You got a millipede furrow where it was moving right along, and you can see that. The guy's pointing to it. And then you got the human footprint, the human and dinosaur footprint. That's right there in the middle where it says -3B track. It's a right footprint of a human, right there in the middle of a dinosaur track. And then you've got, off to the right of that, you've got dinosaur tracks going through there. Those are all considered trace fossils. And so now I'm not going to get into the human and dinosaur tracks. What I'll do is I will put the first video of several videos that I go through when it comes to dinosaur and human footprints found together. It's in my Dinosaur and Man presentation. And so if you guys want to check that out, I'll have the first video in that, and then you can go follow along through there. And also, I do have in my playlist of Dinosaur and Man footprints found together, Ian Juby did a fantastic overview of the topic also, and I have that in that playlist. And so if you'll check that out, all his videos will be in there also. And so be sure you check that out. Believe me, if you're confused on the topic, you can definitely get some answers on these videos. Now, here is a track, here, a cat track. A cat track. Now, what's really interesting about this cat track that was found is that you got the evolution of humans, 1.8 to 5.6 to even 6 million years, that space of time that they have. They don't know. Remember, they don't know because it didn't happen. And so, but that's that timeline there. And then if you notice the tertiary, about in the mid-tertiary, you got 6 to 25 million years ago is when the first cat started evolving. And so now, what is interesting about the cat track that I just showed you is that it was found in stone that was believed to be 110 million years ago, which would have been dated at the Middle Cretaceous period. Now, cats weren't supposed to be around at that time, so that layer of stone that was found in, it shouldn't have had cat prints. No cat prints whatsoever. Now, that's the reason why a lot of these evolutionists, and even some creationists, there's some creationists don't believe in the human and dinosaur footprints, and even this right here, they say that it can't be because it's too old. That layer of rock is too old, and those prints should not be there. Again, this is that evolutionary thinking, and so, but there for your perusal right there is that track. Now, I actually have a cast of that track here at the house, and so I have this exact track. And matter of fact, this is a picture of that exact track, and so I have that along with some other ones. And so now here is another track. This is a human track. I'm not going to go in depth on this, guys. Again, please check out the video link, and you can see all those videos where I detail this, and of course Ian Juby details this just perfectly. And so, but this is the Miller track, aka the Sir George track, excavated by Hugh Miller and a team from Ohio. This was excavated near the newly discovered Japanese track in 1983, which I do have that cast also. And if you'll notice right here, this is that cast of this Miller track here. I have it. And so you've got the big toe, the second toe, and then it goes right along here. But you can see the form of the human foot, guys, is there. It's there. But you know what? There's people that said these were false and these have been carved. Because why? Because they found dinosaur footprints in the same area, in the same layer as where this footprint was found in. And so, but again, you got those two different views. You've got the secular worldview and you've got the biblical worldview. And it just depends on your worldview, guys. You've heard me say this over and over and over again, and you will continually hear me to say this because that is how you get your view. You know, if you see it in the biblical timeline, it's no problem whatsoever. But if you see it in a evolutionary timeline, there's some major problems with it. Now, this one here is a trace fossil of a human footprint. This is a left human footprint. And this was found by Dr. Leakey. And I do have that National Geographic. I have it in my library. And this is a footprint that was found. Again, I go through this when I'm talking about the dinosaur and human footprints found together. We go through the background on this also. So just for time's sake, I'm not going to go into this. But I just wanted to show you that when they looked at this human footprint, they dated it at 3,600,000 years. 3,600,000 years old. That's how old they said that this track was. And so, but this is what they said, guys, that this person walked fully upright. that the form of his foot was exactly the same as ours. I really wonder sometimes, do they really think about what they say before they say it? But they have half human, half ape creatures making these footprints in the National Geographic. And so, absolutely just ridiculous, but then they make this statement that the form of his foot was exactly the same as ours. So, again, I don't understand how they come to those conclusions, but that's the case. And so, that's the case with evolution. It just don't make any sense whatsoever. And so, but let's stop right there. Let you guys chew on this stuff here. When we come back, we got one more video in the topic of fossils, and then we're going to get into another very interesting topic. And so, but you guys take care. I love you, and I hope the Lord blesses you real good. Bye-bye.